999 Anastasius I begins his reign as Catholic Pope. In 1095 Pope Urban Roman II preaches to the West to wrest control of the Holy Land from the Seljuk Turks at the Council of Clermont, triggering the First Crusade. In 1237 Battle of Cortenuova, Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II defeats the Second Lombard League. In 1295 English King Edward I calls what later becomes known as the Model Parliament, extending the authority of its representatives. In 1382 Battle of Westrozebeke, French army defeats the Flemish army. Flemish leader Philip Van Artevelde killed, and his corpse displayed. Colony of La Navidad 1493 Christopher Columbus returned to the Colony of La Navidad, finding it destroyed by the first Native American uprising against Spanish rule. Taíno Cacique Caonabo led his people to attack the settlement after the brutal treatment they received from the garrison, who disobeyed Columbus's orders. James Roman IV receives English pretender 1495 Scottish King James Roman IV receives Perkin Warbeck, pretender to the English throne. In 1574 Selimiye Mosque, a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture, designed by imperial architect Mimar Sinan, officially opens in Edirne, Turkey. In 1587 Dutch county of Groningen flooded by failure of dike. In 1798 Rabbi Shneur Zalman, author Tanyer, released from St Petersburg jail. In 1807 Portuguese Royal Family and its court of nearly 15,000 people leave Lisbon for the colony of Brazil to escape invading Napoleonic troops. In 1809 Berners Street Hoax, Theodore Hook Betsy can make any address the most talked about in London. He proceeds to win by bringing London to a standstill. In 1815 adoption of the Constitution of the Kingdom of Poland. In 1815 City of Kraków, Poland, declared a free republic state by the Congress of Vienna. In 1839 American Statistical Association organizes in Boston. In 1843 opera, Bohemian Girl by Michael William Balfe with a libretto by Alfred Bunn first produced in London. 1863-29 Battle at Fort Esperanza, Texas. In 1863 Battle of Payne S Farm, Virginia. Sherman Burns Sandersville 1864 U.S. Civil War. General Sherman's Union Army departs Sandersville, Georgia, burning its courthouse on his march to the sea. Battle of Washita River 1868 Battle at Washita River, Oklahoma. General George A. Custer attacks group of Native American Indians. The chief Black Kettle dies in the attack. In 1870, the New York Times dubs baseball the national game. In 1885, the first photograph of a meteor is taken by Austro-Hungarian photographer Ladislaus Weineck in Prague, Austrian-Hungarian Empire. In 1889, Curtis P. Brady is issued the first permit to drive a car through Central Park in New York. In 1889 Hermann Sudermann's Air premieres in Berlin. 1890 first signal box for SF Police Department goes into operation. Nobel Prize is established. 1895 Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel establishes the Nobel Prizes to his will, dedicating the bulk of his fortune to funding annual awards for those who have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind. In 1901 Gerhard Hauptmann's play Der Rote Hand the Conflagration premieres in Berlin. In 1901 Prince Ito of Japan comes to St Petersburg hoping to get the Russians to grant Japan concessions in Korea, but later drops this goal and decides to make an alliance with Britain. In 1901 U.S. Army War College is established in Washington, D.C. In 1903 Ermanno Wolf-Ferrari's Opera Die Neugierigen Frauen premieres in Munich, Germany. In 1910 New York's Penn Station opens as the world's largest railway terminal. In 1911 audience throws vegetables at actors for the first recorded time in the US. In 1912 Albanian national flag adopted. In 1912 Spanish protectorate in Morocco forms. 1914 first British woman elected political agent Grantham, Lincolnshire. In 1919 Treaty of Neuilly-sur-Seine signed between Bulgaria and the Allied powers requiring Bulgaria to cede territory to Greece and the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenes and cutting the country's access to the Aegean Sea. The Mark of Sorrow 1920 first American superhero film, The Mark of Sorrow, directed by Fred Niblo and starring Douglas Fairbanks, is released in New York. 1924 57,000 watch a high school football game LA Polytechnic tie 7-7. In 1924 in New York City, the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is held. In 1925 German Parliament ratifies Treaty of Locarno. 1926 110,000 watch US Army Navy play a 21-all tie. Miraculous Mandarin 1926 Bela Bartok KS Ballet Miraculous Mandarin premieres at the Cologne Opera, Germany, conducted by Eugen Schenkar. In 1926 Italian-Albania sign peace treaty. In 1926 KXLAM in Portland begins radio transmissions. In 1926 restoration of Williamsburg, Virginia, begins. In 1932 Poland USSR sign non-aggression treaty. The Battle of Barrington 1934 bank robber Babyface Nelson and 2 FBI agents die in a shootout in Barrington, Illinois. Arrest of Frank Sinatra 1938 Bergen County, New Jersey Sheriff's Department arrests American singer Frank Sinatra 23 on charge of seduction, later withdrawn and amended to adultery, and shortly thereafter case dismissed. In 1940 Dutch law professor Rudolf Cleveringa is arrested by Nazis. In 1941 British 13th Army Corps reaches Tobruk in Libya. In 1941 USSR begins a counter-offensive, causes Germany to retreat. In 1942 French Navy at Toulon scuttle ships sub so Nazis cannot seize them. Tito forms Liberation Board 1942 Tito appoints Anti-Fascist Liberation Board in Yugoslavia. 1944 4,000 shells detonate in RAF arms depot at Fald, near Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, village of Hanbury, destroyed, at least 70 people killed. In 1944 US 121st Infantry Regiment opens assault on Hirchen in Germany. Hanne Schaft reburied 1945 Dutch resistance fighter Hanne Schaft reburied in presence of Queen Wilhelmina. In 1945 General George Marshall named special US envoy to China. In 1945 trial